Hi, welcome to Blindowl Outdoors. We hope you enjoy our channel, and if possible, could you please join our Patreon page? We really need your help. It's been a long, hard road. Thank you. Hi, welcome to our channel. My name's Dan. I'm here in the Philippines on the Island of Bohol. I'm driving south on Highway 850. I'm 32 miles from Buena Vista, 32 kilometers, and about 112 kilometers from Tagbilaran City, the capital. Real overcastish, clouds everywhere. Feels like rain, 100% humidity for the last few days. No rain at all today, no sprinkles, not anything. Probably going to rain good tonight, we'll see, but there's supposed to be a typhoon down in Mindanao somewhere. Comes the police. Always wave to them, they're always friendly here. The police force has really changed over the past 20 years. Used to be a bunch of fat guys sitting around. Look at this. Jesus! What a bunch of shitty drivers here, man, I tell you. But the police now are all real nice. They're all hard-working guys. No bribes, none of that crap going on. They've had some tough days, too. They had a tough time during that COVID. They had a tough time. I think it was after the COVID that they had a big skirmish between the military, PNP, and the NPA down by Balar somewhere. There was a big ambush. And then all the policemen here were wearing combat fatigues for about a year. They're all carrying M16s, and they were on edge for quite a while. I think that's all over now. They're all back in regular uniform again. Look at this paint job. That's all paint job there by brush. Look good though. It's about 3:30 p.m. See the sun up there on its way down. What do you guys know? I was reading something today about Midsummer's Eve. I never heard that before. It said that if you're fasting on Midsummer's Eve and sitting out on your porch at night, you'll see spirits. I don't know if that's true. I kind of doubt it, but you never know. But I had to look up Midsummer's Eve. It turns out that's the first article I read said it was the 24th of June, and then the other article said Midsummer's Eve is basically the summer solstice. It's usually 20, 21, or 22 of June. Usually varies year to year. And it's celebrated real heavily in places like Finland and Sweden and stuff like that. Big party time. And kind of like Oktoberfest in America. but I was reading about the bonfires and stuff like that. That's where the word bonfire comes from. At the Midsummer's Eve, on the first night, they have a bone fire, not wood, but bones. That's where the word bonfire comes from. And then the second fire is made out of wood, and that was called, I can't think of the name of it right now. The wake fire or something like that. And then there's a third fire, which is wood and bone. I thought the bonfire was bond, B-O-N-D fire. It's something to do with like after the war or something like that, burning the war bonds or something. That's what I thought it meant. But it's B-O-N-F-I-R-E, bonfire, named after the bone fires on Midsummer's Eve. Pretty interesting stuff. I read anything I read that I don't know, I look up. That's what's so cool about the Google and all that stuff, is if you have a question about anything, just look it up. Everything is in there. Everything is in there, no matter what, in some way, shape, or form. And there's nothing wrong with learning new things. You think our brains would be just about ready to explode by now, being this old, all the stuff we've learned in our lives, but there's always room for more. And I love a good bonfire, let me tell you. I consider my big trash fires, I consider those bonfires. I used to have a bonfire every New Year's Eve. Last time I went out on New Year's Eve was 1978. And we got in a whole bunch of trouble. I've never gone out on New Year's Eve ever again. So what I do when I go out on New Year's Eve since then, I take my dogs, and I can't do it here because my dogs aren't like my dogs back home, but I take my dogs on New Year's Eve. I go out at 10 o'clock out to the woods somewhere. Then I'd walk into the woods for an hour and a half. The snow, whatever it was, it didn't make a difference. And I usually have at least 2 Jack Russells with me. And then I'd make a little clearing and set up a little camp area. Then I'd spend 25 minutes gathering wood and make as big a pile of wood as I could possibly make in 25 minutes or more, depending on what time I got there. But usually I usually shot for 11:30 to start picking up wood. Then I make a giant fire, and I'd always carry a little glass jar of gasoline with me because I love the whoosh of gasoline. And then I pour the gasoline on the fire, and I start it right at midnight. And then I'd stay in that spot until the fire burned down to nothing, which usually was because back home we had real wood, oak and stuff like that. By the time it burned down, it was usually about 2 to 2:30 in the morning. And then I'd walk back to my car with my dogs and go home. I don't drink or anything like that, so alcohol was never involved. And I always went by myself with my dog. I never took anybody with me ever on New Year's Eve, not one time. Since 1979, that was the first time I started it. I never missed it until 1993. I happened to be in the Philippines that year, in Cebu up in the mountains, and I had a big bonfire, but of course I wasn't out in the woods, and I wasn't with my dogs, and I was with My ex-wife was with me, but that's my tradition. One of my favorite times. But I'd always have a bonfire on the summer solstice. I always have a bonfire in the winter solstice. I always have a fire, not a big giant fire, but I always have a fire on both the spring and fall equinox. And you can see by my videos, I like fire. But I've been making fire since I was a kid. I always enjoyed it and always had a good time. There goes my attorney. Nice guy. I passed him on my way into town. I didn't see him till he went right by. I looked for his license plate. There's got to be 100 black Nissan pickup trucks here on the Island of Bohol. Probably more than that. I see tons of them, but I look for his license plate. This time he saw me coming. He flashed his lights at me. Very nice guy though. Became friends, not just lawyer and attorney and client. He's actually my friend. Nice guy. Got to know him pretty good. Was invited to his wedding and stuff like that. His last wedding. Reception. I was at the wake for his mom when his mom died. Stuff like that, you know. Real nice guy, though. He slaughtered that jerk that was harassing us. I had everything set up for him. All he had to do was present what I set up for him. But we slaughtered those guys. Made him look like a couple whimpering little dogs. Can't wait till we get paid too, guys. Woo, it'll be a big payday. It sure will be nice. Alright, got a big day tomorrow. Marfie's going to the Anda Beach. It's her mom's birthday. Her mom's got 3 or 4 sisters visiting right now. They're all going to go there. Pastor Tim and his kids will all go. They're getting a van. Takes 16 people. I'm sure it'll be full. Marfie's taking Beth, Philip's wife, with him. They should have a good time. Construction here in Burgers today. They're putting up walls on all the hills and on the island for some reason. I'll let you guys go. Thanks for watching. Take care.